What's going on, Hawk fans? I'm Tim Brown here with Matt Ford Wellman, and we're here for another parking lot preview with the Hyannis Harbor Hawks going against the Yarmouth-Dennis Red Sox, second day in a row, and the season series is tied at 1 win apiece between the East Division leader and West Division leader in the Cape Cod Baseball League. All in a showdown on July 4th. Matt, you couldn't write it out any better.
You know, just to even reiterate what you just said, Tim, a little further, if Hyannis pulls this one out, they're tied for the best record in the league. Brewster's kind of had a bit of a falling. I forget who's after us. Is it Falmouth?
I believe it's Falmouth.
I believe it's Falmouth. They just lost to Katuitt last night. So, you know, it's kind of spreading out a little bit. It seems like the number ones are definitely separating from the pack, and they're, you know, differentiating themselves in the equation. Last night was a bit of a fluke, though. I'm going to be real. Both teams did not necessarily have their best game. We'll give you some notes really quick from YD. It was not their best hitting performance. Top 5 in their lineup went over. That's not going to happen again. I'd like to kind of hope that the Red Sox are going to step back into, you know, their offensive success. They are a long ball threat for sure, and I think they might step back into it. Tough night for them last night, and we're going to see how they're going to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the Hyannis side, they didn't look their typical selves offensively either until that 8th inning came around.
Right.
And they scored that winning run. I believe it was Jackson Willits
Yes,
with the go-ahead RBI there. And they got stranded with men on the corners, no outs, and a lightning delay takes us out of the game completely. It was an opportunity to break the game open.
I was just about to say that, actually. Yeah, I'm going to be real. I really thought that if we had to go back into that one, Hyannis was going to lose it. I'm going to be so dead honest. I hate being morbid like that, but I mean, like, it just seemed like this was the perfect storm, no pun intended. Hyannis, runners on the corner, just scored a run. They now get to take a break. They have to regroup. They have to settle. The at-bats aren't going to come back as hot. I just, you know, I was waiting for something to happen. I'm glad it got called for weather. Obviously, we had that downpour and that thunderstorm last night. But, you know, Tim, what's Hyannis going to bring today?
Well, they've got Tsubasa Tomi on the mound today.
So excited.
Oh, my goodness. We've been waiting for this.
I'm so excited.
We've been waiting for this.
We knew he was going to get a start at some
man.
point. Tommy's so fun to watch, and he's such a dugout booster. I can't imagine the Hawks are going to be anything but loud in there today.
Absolutely. He has been the biggest vibes guy on this team by far. I know throughout a few instances we've seen him and Tyler August, you know, just walking back from the dugout to the bullpen a couple times. I think that was out in Falmouth. Mm-hmm. They all just have a great time with Tomi. As he described himself in our media day, he little pitcher. He's 5'7", born in Tokyo, Japan, played at Prima Community College last spring, going to transfer to the University of Hawaii this year, and hoping big things for him there. But here, hoping to perform well against the top team in the Cape Cod Baseball League. And Tomi, I mean, Matt, you already said it. You know, this dugout's going to be behind him 100% of the way. I don't think the Hawks want anyone else on the bump in a big situation like this. They want to have fun out there. And what better day to do it than on July 4th?
You know, it doesn't get more American than, you know, backing up a guy that you want to see succeed, you know, backing a little guy, so to speak. I don't want to say it, but Tomi does anything but little on the mound. He makes his presence known immediately. He's going to get swing and miss stuff early. I know we mentioned the 0 for 5 or the 0 for that the top 5 went, you know, not a hit in your top 5 hitters. Those are your best guys. You don't want to repeat that. It might be due to. I don't want to jinx anything, but Tomi gets really good swing and miss stuff, and if he gets going early, I can really see him going the distance and going a little longer. That being said, Harbor Hawks defense is going to have to be nails tonight. They're going to have to be strong because YD's going to find a way to put it in play. They're going to shorten up their approaches. You have a bad offensive game. What are we going to do? Put pressure on the defense. They're going to look to steal bases. They're going to look to be tough. What can Hyannis do to kind of prevent that on the defensive side, do you think?
Well, I think you saw some amazing defensive play last night from Jeff Luigi at second base, and in center field, Jason Walk was all over.
He's having a good season here. He's having a really good defensive season.
Absolutely. He was covering that field, might I say, you know, call out a former Harbor Hawk, Jackie Bradley Jr., playing center field a little bit there. He was incredible. You want a guy like that, you know, manning and captaining your outfield.
That's for sure.
So I think the Hawks have a good backing to lean against in this game. So all that being said, this is one of the toughest teams in the league, Matt. What's Yarmouth going to bring into this one, trying to combat the Hawks fresh off a win yesterday?
You know, Yarmouth is going to bring in, a bona fide starter. Let's start with that first off. Brady Hamilton, 3 starts, 13 innings pitched. He's a veteran. He knows how to walk into a game against good teams and get it done. He's going to look to do a very similar thing. Went to Wichita State, saw good competition, 3 walks, 10 strikeouts on the season. He's going to get balls in play. He's going to look to try to be dominant early, I expect. The Hawks have a tendency to win games that they get ahead on, especially on the road. if I'm Brady Hamilton and I'm game planning for this, my first inning and second inning are my two biggest innings. If I can get through it a little bit, you can kind of get rolling, and that's what I think YD is going to attempt to do. They're going to look to kind of lean on their offense early as well. Dean Carpentier, another great hitter. He had a homer last night, 2-run shot early in the game. That kind of represents that Red Sox power that they really do bring, and they're going to look to kind of bring that again. Do I think they're going to look for homers? No. As I said earlier, the approach is going to change. But you hit balls hard, you're going to find holes and you're going to find gaps, and I expect a very, very similar thing tonight from the top of the lineup all the way to the bottom. They're going to look for contact, and that's where they're going to thrive. And I think the Hyannis pitching staff, I don't want to say lean into the walks, but, see if you can get some chases. Work early, work aggressive, work in the outer thirds. Give up when you have to give up and give in to some ground ball pitches. But I think YD's in a position to overswing tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tommy is a good guy on the bump to combat that. He has great swing and miss stuff. As you said, he's got 7 Ks in 5 innings pitched so far for the Hawks. And we'll look to see a great matchup out of him today. On the other side, the Hyannis offense trying to continue their momentum that they sort of got paused on last night in the bottom of the eighth, where they went ahead 3-2. It just seems like that was when they were starting to put together some power swings. Ryan McKay with a double, Jackson Willits the same, and then Gabe Camacho, maybe with a little bit of pressure there on Michael Catalano, I believe.
Yes, Catalano.
Catalano. Get the Italian names in there. There we go. A little bit of pressure on Michael Catalano. He makes an error on the transfer trying to throw. It seemed like the pressure was just starting to get on Yarmouth Dennis then, and they're going to want to keep the pressure on early in the game today. And I think the top of this lineup has potential to do that.
Funny thing about Catalano, hey guys, I love our media interns, guys. They're just the best. The quietest group of, very respectful people. While
obviously. D-Bot, very respectful person, as we all know.
Come out and meet us. We always love to talk to people. If you're watching this and you're in the Cape Cod area, come out and talk to us. We love talking to fans. We got super sidetracked there. Catalano, I just wanted to make one point. 6 strikeouts last night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was dealing, made a couple mistakes, and that cost him. And I think that's kind of the wrap-up for the YD Red Sox. They didn't play their best game, but they were a couple mistakes away from being in a really, really good position. Both teams were. And that's what I think it's going to be tonight as well, Tim.
Absolutely. All right, well, one last thing before we go. Player of the game predictions and score positions. Matt, what do you got?
I love me some fresh legs. I'm going to be very, very real with you, Tim. I think when a guy is, ready to go, when a guy has had a day off to kind of collect, gotten to see some baseball, maybe take some swings in the cages, prep a little different, I'm picking Matt Mura. Day off, he's going to come back. I think he's going to barrel the ball. A guy notorious for coming out the gate swinging, I can't think of anyone better to start this game against the Red Sox. I think the score is tough, Tim, because last night I said, I think the offense is going to get going. They didn't.
Right.
We're going to do a little reverse psychology here. My score predictions haven't been great, and we're going to keep going with that. We're going to try to do a little better, but for now, I think I got to help the Hawks here. I'm going to say 2-1 Hawks and a nail-biter.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hey.
I think it's going to be a pretty high score, I'm going to be honest with you. But
you gotta reverse the trends.
I got to reverse the trends.
You got to reverse the trends.
So
Buck
2-1 Hawks, it's going to be a nail-biter. It's going to get all the way to the end. We'll have a good one.
Buck the trends, as Mike Nigerian would say if he was here. Man, so sad to not see him here today.
It is a bummer.
It's tough. But the last time he was here, it was a walk-off win for the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox.
We'll see if I have any better luck.
We'll see.
Maybe.
Well,
what do you got, Tim?
I will say last game, due to the rain stoppage, I did get the score prediction right again at a 3-2 win for Hyannis. So we haven't been keeping track enough, but I'm in the lead. I think we can say that.
Yeah, you're confidently in the lead at this point. I know I'm dead last. I'll say that.
Yeah, we'll say that. But today, Matt, we were talking pregame.
Yeah.
I was thinking Stone Lawless because he had a big home run here last time against the Red Sox, and that started off a rally for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. But I'm all for a revenge story. Give me Ryan Speciak with a huge save today after he saw the bases get loaded and then let in a pair of winning runs his last time at Red Wilson Field. I think Mitch Carricker is going to give him that chance to avenge himself today. And for a score prediction, give me the way it was supposed to be. A 4-3 win for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
Man, what a storyline. I got nothing to say about that. That was pretty good. If it could go exactly like that, I think it'd be good. A good sign up there. We might even take a picture and post that. There's a couple Harbor Hawks
Ooh,
nesting up in that little perch right there.
That
I
is
think that's a
beautiful.
very good sign.
that's a very good
It's
sign.
a beautiful day. It's a great day for some baseball. And all I got to say is just one thing, Tim.
Go Hawks.